Joining us now with more on tomorrow's event is White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Hogan, great to talk to you. So, one is tempted to conclude that, the left and the mainstream media, which is redundant, I realize, have no clue about American history and tradition. They seem to have forgotten that we secured our independence that we celebrate tomorrow through military force. General Washington and the Continental Congress, that little thing called the Revolutionary War. So what's your take?
Look, it's pretty clear at this point that the Democrats in this country hate this president more than they love America. And that hatred has taken many forms in the short time period that Donald Trump has been in the White House. First, the Democrats lied about collusion. Then they lied about corruption. Then they lied about the crisis at the southern border. And now they're lying about the motives of Donald Trump, who simply wants to celebrate the greatest idea ever realized in the history of humankind, and that's America. Most countries who have a constitution, those constitutions last an average of about 17 years. Ours has been around for more than 230.
Yeah.
This is no doubt the most amazing place in history. And Democrats refuse to celebrate that greatness, refuse to even celebrate our nation's independence or the 4th of July simply because it's Donald Trump who's doing the celebrating.
I said my favorite was the commentator who said, "Oh, things flying overhead." No, really the favorite was the clip we played of the ever obtuse Joy Reid on MSNBC, who said, the tanks are a threat. As if the president is going to direct the military to turn the tanks on the people and fire away. I mean, has the antipathy toward Trump become so extreme now that these people have lost all sense?
Oh, there's no doubt. Listen, I was with the president for quite some time this afternoon talking about the speech, listening to him talk about the themes that he wants to address. And there's not a political bone in the entire speech. I mean, the whole thing is about the greatness of America, how far we've come. And yes, we've had dark days in this country. So many other nations have had dark days. So the darkness isn't unique. What's unique to America is that we came out of those dark days better, more united, an amazing people, united behind the ideal that is America. That's what this speech is about. That's what Donald Trump wants to convey. He wants to celebrate the men and women who are brave and put their lives on the line every day that allow the freedoms of those journalists to make those claims, albeit completely false. That's what this is about for all Americans. It's not political. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about each of us, and that's what he wants to convey.
And we should be so grateful every day for our military that secures our freedoms every day. Hogan, thanks very much for being with us.